This is massive. According to NBA Insider Brian Windhorst, he gives us a major update on the Knicks' future trade plans. And these reports indicate that the Knicks are currently interested in Robert Williams III. We're going to break down these latest reports and so much more today. But before we get started, guys, I want to give a special shout out to today's sponsor, MANSCAPED. Listen, fellas, good grooming is important because when you look good, you feel good. But as a content creator, my time is limited. And because of that, I don't want to make a mistake. So oftentimes, when it comes to grooming the boys, it takes me a long time. Until now. Meet your new best friend and your ball's new best friend, the Lawnmower 5.0. As many fans of the show already know, basketball is all about trusting the pass, because when you trust the pass, the game gets easier. Everything gets easier. The same thing is true for the Lawnmower 5.0. Say goodbye to endless passes. This trimmer gets it right the first time, cutting through the bushiest of bushes effortlessly while being gentle on the skin and your delicate places. The Lawnmower 5.0 is incredible, easy to use, reduced nicks, and saved me so much time. With two interchangeable skin-safe blade heads, you can choose between a precise trim or a smooth finish. And did I mention it's waterproof? Yes, you can trim in the shower and avoid making a mess everywhere. Perfect for those of us who appreciate efficiency. The Lawnmower 5.0 ensures you're looking your best below the waist and gives you a premium grooming experience. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code KNICKSRECAP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code KNICKSRECAP at manscaped.com. You can find the affiliate link in the video description below as well too. No more juggling multiple tools or dealing with subpar results. Just efficiency and results, and utilizing your time in the best way possible. The Lawnmower 5.0 gets it right every single time. And now, let's get started. The Knicks are showing interest in Robert Williams III. Now, a couple of days ago, we released a video indicating that the Knicks had some plans and they were targeting centers. Now, we mentioned a couple of names, but one of the main names we talked about was Robert Williams III. And that's with very good reason, because as of right now, the Trailblazers roster has a lot of centers on it. And Robert Williams III does not have the greatest injury history. All of these factors are indicating that at some point in time, especially at the trade deadline, the Blazers could look to move Robert Williams to another team, potentially to a contender. And according to Brian Windhorst, one of the teams that are monitoring Williams right now is the New York Knicks. Let's break down these latest reports from Windhorst and what he's saying about the Knicks and their future trade plans. Brian Windhorst said the following about the Knicks' interest in the Blazers center Robert Williams III on ESPN's NBA Today. According to Windy, I would say Robert Williams from Portland. Any team looking for a center is going to watch Robert Williams closely this year. And I think the Knicks will be among the teams monitoring him. So as the season goes along for New York, that center position is going to be a big topic from week to week. Shout out to Brian Windhorst for giving us the following information about the Knicks and their interest in Robert Williams III. Now, if you take away all of the injury concerns from Robert Williams, he is going to be one of the most desired centers in the entire NBA by multiple teams. His injury history is the most concerning thing and the main reason why his value is tanking right now. Because despite the injury history, he is very dominant on the boards. He can play great defense. He can block shots. He's an underrated passer as well, too. He gives you everything that you could need right now for a center. And if he stays healthy and the Knicks got him, he would be a significant upgrade. But that's the thing. Can he stay healthy? Will he stay healthy? How long will he remain healthy for? These are all factors. And if any team trades for him, you have to put that into consideration in terms of what you're willing to give up in any deal to get him on your team. And I'm sure the Knicks are thinking about that as well, too. I'm not saying he's their first priority, but he's definitely somebody on their list. Brian Windhorst continues here, and he explains why at this point it makes sense for Portland to move on from Robert Williams III. According to Windy, I don't think that DeAndre Ayton's very tradable. A guy to watch who is very tradable is the Time Lord, one of the great nicknames in the whole NBA, Robert Williams, coming back off of the injury. Obviously, he's a guy who's had repeated injury problems, but that's a guy who makes $13 million, who they may be willing to part with, who could go to a contender and be a significant piece. This guy is potentially a difference-making player defensively in any playoff series. Windy gets brutally honest here, and he states the following. Honestly, the responsible thing to do for the Blazers is to trade Robert Williams III, because the responsible thing to do at this point is to develop Klingon, who, by the way, could be an ace defensive player too. He's got the potential to do that. Those were a lot of good points mentioned by Brian Windhorst there, and I have no doubts in any of them. I actually agree with them, and I believe that at the deadline, the Blazers are going to look to move Robert Williams III to make more room on their roster and also to develop the young centers that they have. However, I still don't believe that the Knicks are going to trade for Time Lord unless the package is a steal and makes absolute sense, because they're not going to want to give up assets to create another problem. As good as Time Lord is, if you add him to this team and he goes down with injury, he would mean the exact same as Mitchell Robinson would if he went down with injury. Now, I'm not saying they're the same player, but they have a similar impact, especially if they're both on the Knicks. I know it sounds great having the quote-unquote twin towers in Mitchell Robinson and Robert Williams III, but those are not the greatest players to have your hopes on when you're a championship team, because their injury concerns push you away from them. And I think the same thing is going to be true for the Knicks come the deadline. I'm not saying they won't target him. A lot of factors are going to determine whether they do or not. But one of the main ones is if their preferred target is no longer available. And you might be asking yourself, who currently right now would be the Knicks' preferred target to go out there and get on the trade market? Well, according to Brian Windhorst, who has been answering all things Knicks related recently, he gives us the following information about what potential player is the Knicks' preferred target at the deadline. According to Brian Windhorst, he revealed the following worthy candidates in regards to the Knicks and their trade targets. It's possible, according to Windy, that Walker Kessler could change teams, and he fits nicely about what the Knicks want to do. Time and time again, Walker Kessler's name continues to be mentioned and linked to the Knicks. And that's with good reason, because number one, the Knicks are interested. Number two, they tried to trade for him and get him on this team, but they couldn't make Danny Ainge budge in terms of a deal that they could get done. Now, at the deadline, that may not change. And that's why, even though Walker Kessler is likely the preferred trade target for the Knicks, the target that I would want the Knicks to go after, because he's young, he can develop, and under Tom Thibodeau, he would be a monster. He would be the guy I want the Knicks to go after right now. But due to the trade package and Danny Ainge likely asking for everything in the world, I don't see Leon Rose and this Knicks front office giving into that and getting a Walker Kessler on this team. They might shift and look at other players. That's why players that are going to be on the buyout market potentially are players to worry about. Or potentially players like Robert Williams III, whose trade value might sink, and it might be enticing enough for the Knicks to want to bite on that and trade for him to get him on this team. A lot of factors going on right now, but again, I think we can flat out say, in terms of trade targets, the Knicks are likely looking at Walker Kessler, Robert Williams III, and Jonas Valanciunas. And out of all of those three, for me, I prefer Walker Kessler. I don't think the Knicks would do Robert Williams III because of his injury history. And I think if none of the other trades pan out, at the very least, the Knicks would trade for Jonas Valanciunas, because that trade makes sense from top to bottom. And the Knicks, as a contender, have everything in their arsenal to get that deal done. The only person on this planet who knows what the Knicks are going to do is Leon Rose. And he probably doesn't have a full picture of it yet. That picture becomes more clear once we get closer to the trade deadline. But what about you guys? What do you think about these recent reports indicating that the Knicks are looking to potentially trade for Robert Williams III, as they have interest in him? And if he becomes available at the deadline, they will be a team that is looking to monitor him and trade for him. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.